What is up, guys? It's Superken for Superken Gamer from the channel. Please subscribe, leave a comment saying hi, thumbs up. If you like the video already, share this video with your friends, and welcome to my first ever E3 prediction show. I've never done a show like this. I thought it'd be interesting, and out of all years to do it, I do it on a year that I think is going to be pretty boring. In fact, I think not only this year is going to be boring, but next year may be boring as well, and I'll get into why I believe so. Right now, we're just going to jump right into it, y'all. Before we start this, though, I'm recording this on May 24th, 2018. You guys aren't going to get it until Monday, June 4th. I'm going to release it the week of E3. E3 starts. The press conferences start on June 9th. So I'm releasing the Monday before that. So if anything is announced, confirmed before then, I'm just making it clear that my predictions were here first. But during a recent investor call, Sony said that in March 2021, is when they're going to step away from the PS4 and go towards the future. Now, people are saying this means that we're not getting the PlayStation 5 until March 2021. And I 100% disagree with that. I feel like they're misunderstanding what is being said. I don't think PlayStation is saying in 2021 is when we're going to move on to the PlayStation 5. I think that they mean by 2021 is when they're going to stop making games that are playable on both consoles. Because I think they're gonna have that thing where there's gonna be a version of PS4 game and a PS5 version of a game, like they did at the end of last cycle, where we had the weird mix of like Assassin's Creed 4 being on both consoles and Watch Dogs being on both consoles. PlayStation didn't really do that, but I think they're gonna take note and do that for this generation. So when do I think that we're going to get the PlayStation 5? At first, I didn't think we were going to get it until 2020, and that makes sense. It's released in fall 2020, and 6 months later, in March, we're moving on, just focus on the PlayStation 5 going forward. But I don't believe that's the case. Because they said March 2021 is when they're going to move on, that actually makes me pull back a bit and be like, there's no way they're releasing this in 2020 if they're moving on March 2021. They have to release this even earlier. So y'all, my prediction right now, I'm predicting 2 E3s. My prediction is that in 2019, we are going to get the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox next. We are getting those consoles in 2019. In the fall of 2019. And we're going to go into that as I make my predictions why I believe this is the case. I believe that every single game we see in 2019 is going to be a PlayStation 5 game at E3. Otherwise, there's going to be 2 boring conferences in a row. I feel like this is a roundup year. This is a sunsetting year. Every game we're going to see this year at E3 are going to be the games sunsetting the console. And everything we see in 2019 is going to be a PlayStation 5 game. And the reason I believe that is because Sony is crushing it with these first-party games, and I don't see them announcing any new IPs or any new sequels to games for the PlayStation 4. Like, God of War just came out. There's no way they're already on the next game. There's no way Horizon 2 is ready to go. In fact, I think Horizon 2 is going to be a launch title, which would make more sense for 2020. So maybe it's a year 2 game. But I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of PlayStation 5. Let's focus on this year's E3. Because it makes the most sense in my head for us not to get one until 2020, which is kind of when I want one. But looking at the cards being played by these publishers, I'm thinking 2019 we're going to be seeing it. But starting Saturday, June 9th, Electronic Arts, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time, the real time. Of course, we're going to get FIFA. We're going to get a Madden. Hopefully, Madden Longshot did well enough. Like, I personally bought Madden last year because of Longshot. And it was worth it for that alone. So I really hope they continue to do these cinematic-styled single-player campaigns. We're going to see some Battlefield 5 multiplayer, and we're going to see some Anthem, are my predictions. I don't think we're going to see a new Need for Speed game. The last one was pretty garbage. Like, I love Need for Speed. I'm not one to hate on Need for Speed. As a Need for Speed fan, the last Need for Speed was garbage. And I hope they take a year off and that the launch year of the PlayStation 5, we get the next Need for Speed. I'm not sure what else Electronic Arts is going to show. I don't think anything else other than sports games, Madden, Do they have an NBA? I'm pretty sure they have an NBA franchise. We're going to see some of that. Some NHL. Bunch of sports, Battlefield, Anthem. Maybe I'll look into their next Star Wars game. That will, by the way, all these games that they're going to show, I think are going to be 2018 games except for Anthem. Anthem's going to be a 2019 game. And maybe they show the next Star Wars game, which will also be a 2019 game. Sunday, June 10th, we started things off with Microsoft at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I think Microsoft is going to show Forza Horizon 4. By the way, some of these are on that Walmart leak. Forza Horizon 4 was on that leak. I think they're going to Forza coming out in 2018. Crackdown 3 coming out 2018. They're going to show Battlefield 5 off 2018. They're going to show Shadow of the Tomb Raider 2018. Borderlands 3 was on this Walmart list. I doubt it's going to be showed, but out of all the places, I think Microsoft would be the place to show Borderlands 3, and it will be a 2019 game. And if not, it will be a 2020 PS5 game. But I know. But the PlayStation 5 is coming out in 2019, according to you. Why wouldn't they release it with the PlayStation 5 at launch? I have my reasons we'll get into later down the line. I think they're going to show Metroid Exodus. I'm going to say that's also going to be a 2019 game, possibly 2018, but I think it's going to be like March 2019. And Gears of War 5, also a sunsetting game, going to be coming out in 2019 as well. And I think that's all for Microsoft. Because I think this is the sunsetting year of these consoles, I don't think we're going to get any huge new IP announcements. They're all going to be saved for next year in 2019 when we see the Xbox Next and the PlayStation 5. Then at 9:30 p.m., it's Bethesda. Bethesda, I have no idea what Bethesda's going to do. They're obviously going to show Rage 2. Other than that, I have no idea. Are we going to see an Elder Scrolls 6 announcement? I don't think so. But here's the thing. I do believe Elder Scrolls 6, we are going to get an Elder Scrolls 6. But I believe that it's going to be a year 2 PlayStation 5 game. And by the way, when I say PlayStation 5, I don't mean it's going to be exclusive. We just don't know what the next Xbox is going to be called. So I'm just saying PlayStation 5 and grouping everything into that. But I think it's going to be a year 2 PlayStation 5 game. And the reason I say that is because I very much feel that a console's launch year is all about established franchises that run on a fairly familiar engine, as well as first-party titles. I feel like the launch year is all about first-party. Our publishers have been working with this new machine, and we gave our machine to the publishers and developers that have an annualized series because it's going to be much easier to have a game up and ready to go for launch year. So I feel like everybody's going to sit back, let Sony and Xbox release their exclusives that year, let all the sports games and the Assassin's Creeds and the Need for Speeds get out of the way for that year. And then year 2, 2020 or 2021, which could quite possibly be year 2 as well. That's when we're going to see Borderlands 3 and Elder Scrolls 6, in my opinion. I feel like that makes the most sense. I think that we're not going to get an Elder Scrolls game for this generation of consoles. It's going to be a next generation year 2 game. Then at 11 p.m. is Devolver Digital. Now, Devolver, if you don't know who Devolver Digital is, they're like an indie publisher. They've published Hotline Miami, Shadow Warriors, Broforce, Absolver, Crossing Souls, Minute. They have some pretty good games underneath them. I'm a little confused why they're having a conference. I don't know if they're going to go the more AAA route, because they have some pretty solid games under them. I'm interested to see what they bring to the table, but I have no predictions because they are so indie game heavy that's where the new IP is going to be showed. A bunch of indie games that are going to be ending the year. Then Monday, June 11th, we have Square Enix at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, they're going to show Shadow of the Tomb Raider coming out 2018. Kingdom Hearts 3, 2019 game. Dragon Quest 2, quite possibly a 2018 game. I don't see them wanting to release a Dragon Quest the same year as a Kingdom Hearts game. And by Dragon Quest 2, I mean Dragon Quest Builders 2. I don't know, it's definite enough. Maybe a 2019 game, or it's going to be a fall 2018 game. I don't know. Also on that Walmart leak, by the way, Dragon's Quest 2 was on the Walmart leak, but they meant Builders 2. Also on that Walmart leak was Just Cause 4. I highly doubt that we're going to get a Just Cause 4 game this early. Like Just Cause, I feel like Just Cause 3 just came out, and I don't think it did that too well. It wasn't that great of a game. Like, I didn't really enjoy Just Cause 3. If we are it doesn't make, it's not too out of the box that we're going to have a Just Cause 4 wrapping things up. But they're going to have to have a different development team on Just Cause 4, because I'm pretty sure the Just Cause 3 team is the team that's working on Rage 2, who also worked on Mad Max, which I loved. So hopefully Rage 2 is more Mad Max and less Just Cause. I doubt it, but maybe we'll see some Final Fantasy VII remake. And I highly believe that the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to be a PlayStation 5 game. It's not going to sunset the console. It's going to be a launch title in that launch year of... I don't think we're seeing this game until 2020. So if the PlayStation 5 comes out in 2020, this is going to be a launch title, or it's going to be one of those year 2 games. It could be either or, because it is established. People know the name. It's either going to be a launch title or a year 2 kind of thing. And we're going to see it in 2020. But I'm not sure what else Square Enix has up their sleeve. Possibly a new IP for 2019. I don't think Square Enix is going to show anything beyond 2019. Ubisoft at 4 p.m. we're going to get Just Dance, whatever. I think we're going to see Division 2, and that's going to be a 2019 game in the slot that Far Cry 5 was this year. On that list was Splinter Cell. I doubt it, but if there is a Splinter Cell game, I think it's going to be a 2018 game. Who's craving a Splinter Cell game? I doubt Splinter Cell is going to be announced. Possibly we're going to see Skull and Bones. This is going to be a 2019 game. We're going to see some Beyond Good and Evil. This is also going to be Beyond Good and Evil 2. This is also going to be a 2019 game. This is going to be a sunsetting game. And we're also going to get a look at Assassin's Creed Rome, the next Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what it's going to be called. I'm just calling it Assassin's Creed Rome because I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to go. And I believe this is going to be a 2018 game. And this goes back to my sunsetting the franchise thing and us getting the PlayStation 5 in 2019. I feel like Ubisoft is smart enough, because it leaked that they're doing a trilogy on this engine. So we already got Origins, we're going to get Rome, then we're going to get the third game. And I think the third game is going to be one of those games that are on both consoles, because it's going to be on the same engine. So they can take their engine and use this engine that they have and mess with Assassin's Creed on the PlayStation 5 without it being too bad. And then second year they'll try something new like they did with Unity, or enhance the engine that they've worked on for this trilogy. This is honestly probably my favorite engine, though I really loved the Assassin's Creed 3 engine, the Revelations and Brotherhood and 2 engine. I guess what I'm saying is I didn't like Assassin's Creed 4, Unity, or Syndicate, or Rogue. But I really like this engine. I hope that they enhance this engine going forward. But for the time being, I think we are going to get an Assassin's Creed this year. We're going to get one for 2019, and it's going to be one of those cross-generation games that is both sunsetting the PlayStation 4 and moving forward to the PlayStation 5 like they did with Assassin's Creed 4, which was a bit of the Assassin's Creed 3 engine, but I feel is dumbed down a little bit. And that's about it for Ubisoft. Then the PC gaming show at 6 p.m. I have Minesweeper 2. We're going to get Minesweeper 2 at PC gaming show. We're going to get Turbo Tax 2019, all that good stuff coming to PC. I don't watch that. I don't care. Then finally at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to get the Sony conference. I think we're going to see Call of Duty Black Ops 4 there. Maybe some of the Battle Royale gameplay modes a bit. I'm disappointed that we're not getting a campaign, but I don't think this is going to be every Call of Duty. They just couldn't do it this year. We're also going to see some Death Stranding, but Death Stranding, I think, is going to be a 2020 game, and it's going to be a PS5 game. I don't even think it's going to be a launch title. It's possible they could get it out early 2019 and be a launch title for the PlayStation 5. I feel like it's going to be a... I don't know if this... It's running on the Horizon engine, so maybe this is also... No, Death Stranding is going to be one of those weird games. Like, I think it's going to be a second year PS5 game. Or if PS5 is announced in 2020, it's going to be a launch title. And it's going to be on the PS4 as well. But I for sure believe Death Stranding is going to be a PlayStation 5 game. Ghost of Tsushima is a 2019 game. It's a sunsetting game. We're either going to get it... We're going to get it next fall, quite possibly a PS5 version as well. Spider-Man, we're getting it this year. The Last of Us Part 2, in the same boat as Ghost of Tsushima. This is going to be a 2019 game. It's going to be a sunsetting game. And we are quite possibly going to get two versions of this game, a PlayStation 5 launch version and a PlayStation 4 farewell version. Or we're going to get this one early 2019, and then by launch they're going to have some definitive edition ready to go. And we're going to see Dreams quite possibly here as well. And a prediction, we're going to see the announcement of Devil May Cry 5, which will be a sunsetting game coming out in 2019. And again, I think these are all sunsetting games. There's no way, because Sony basically came out, the reason my predictions are the way they are is because Sony basically came out and said their conference this year is going to be more of a showcase. So what are they going to do in 2019? Another showcase? Are they just going to, like, The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be out of the way. What are they going to do? Just show Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding next year? I don't think so. Oh, and that zombie game, that's going to... I don't even know what that's called. I'm not excited for that at all. That's going to be a 2019 sunsetting game. Big deal. Who cares? But this is the reason that I believe we're getting a PlayStation 5 in 2019. We have to be. Because what are they going to do next year? Next year, they have to show PlayStation 5 games. And with Ghost of Tsushima, which I believe will be a fall game, I don't think they're going to be stepping on any toes, because I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 5 is going to be a backwards compatible console. So there's not going to be, oh, I got to blow off my PlayStation 4 to play all these games coming out. No, that PlayStation 4 game is going to work on the new PlayStation 5, and it's going to look better. It's going to look like the better version, if they don't already have a second version ready to go. Or maybe they do some sort of new dual generation case where here's a disc, it's going to work both in the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4. It's going to look better on the PlayStation 5. So they could do that for Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding, which is what I believe they're going to do, and we're getting the PlayStation 5 in 2019. Like, I don't see it any other way. I just can't see them 2 years in a row doing a showcase, because all we're going to see for the next, if the PlayStation 4 isn't coming out until 2021, which I doubt, it's just the timeline doesn't make sense. So in 2019, they're going to have all these games ready to go for the final year of 2021. That's 3 years. I feel like first-party Sony games take too much development time to have first-party games ready to go 3 years from now. And on top of that, have first-party titles ready to go for the fall coming up. It just doesn't make sense to me. If we're not getting the PlayStation 5 in 2019, we're done seeing first-party games besides Death Stranding. Death Stranding is going to be the final first-party game for the PlayStation 4. They're just going to be doing some third-party partnerships to sunset the PlayStation 5 on. Sunset the PlayStation 4 on, which I don't see them doing. So it only makes sense that we're getting the PlayStation 5 in 2019. Like, you can fill me in down in the comment section below if you have a different idea, but like, everyone's games are out, and they're not going to have another game ready to go for launch in 2021. It's too big of a gap for 2021 to be the year, is what I'm saying. To not only continue to release games, but then have games ready to go for that. I feel like every single game in development, every first-party game in development right now is a PlayStation 5 game. Aside from, of course, aside from, I'm going to say The Last of Us Part 2. The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be the only major first-party game that is going to be a solo PS4 game, and then for like the launch month or whatever, they're going to have the PlayStation 5 version. They're going to do that dual thing. That has, like, mark my words, like 2020 was in my head that's going to be the year. It's the same length that the PlayStation 3, the PlayStation 4 life cycle was. That would take us to 2020. But with this information that they're moving on in 2021, it has to be 2019 we're getting the PlayStation 5. Even though that's super early. I'm probably predicting it the earliest out of everyone. We're going to see the PlayStation 5 in 2019. And then on Tuesday, June 12th, Nintendo at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm not a Nintendo guy. I don't know much about Nintendo. Mario Maker 2, possibly a 2019 game. Super Smash Bros. 2018 game. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu 2018 game. Metroid Prime 4 2019. I don't have much to say about Nintendo. I don't know. But this is going to be a fairly boring E3 in terms of announcements. There's not going to be the huge announcements because we are sunsetting. Like, we're quite possibly see Borderlands 3, which I doubt. Elder Scrolls 6, we're not going to see until year 2. So year 2 again is either going to be 2020 or 2021. There's no way it's 2022. But Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a year 2 console game. Just Cause 4, I highly doubt. Final Fantasy 7, that's going to be a 2020. Either a year, it's going to be a year 1 game if the PlayStation 5 does come out in 2020. It's going to be a year 2 game if it comes out in 2019. But we're not seeing that until 2020. Again, Assassin's Creed. We're going to get one this year, and we're going to get a dual generation one next year. Because PlayStation has to do the backwards compatibility thing with the PlayStation 4. They're not going to do it for 3, 2, and 1, but at the very least, you're going to be able to play PlayStation 4 on the PlayStation 5 so that they're not stepping on toes. So that you're not looking at all these games that still have to come out, like Ghost of Tsushima. Like, why would I buy that on the PlayStation 4 when the PlayStation 5 is coming out a couple months later? Well, because it's going to work there. That's why. And it's going to look better. Because it's going to be a PS5/PS4 game. It's going to be on... I can just picture it in my head, the dual generation cases. The games that are going to work on both consoles. But let me know what you think. Do you think... when do you think we're going to see the PlayStation 5? Because, again, based off of the games being in development right now, based off of the games we got, like God of War and Horizon this year and last year, and Ghost of Tsushima coming out, and Last Guardian we just got a couple years ago, like, there's just no possible way that PlayStation is going to have games continuing coming out for the PlayStation 4. They're just not. And I don't see them sunsetting their own console off of the backs of third-party studios. So we're getting into 2019. Mark my words. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up. If you like the video, share this video with your friends. And of course, stay beautiful. If you like this video, please consider supporting me on Patreon so that I can continue to bring you reviews for all the newest games at patreon.com/SuperKenGaming. You'll get access to early audio and video versions of reviews, exclusive Let's Play videos, and you'll even get to choose the game I play next. Thanks for watching, and of course, stay beautiful.